"I need this taken in," he said, looking her up and down. "But honestly, I think I need your number more." Adais laughed. She wasn't the type to fall for pickup lines, but Chinedu was persistent. He came back the next day and the next and the next. Always with another suit that needed adjusting. Always with that smile. By the fourth visit, she gave him her number. By the sixth date, she was falling. By the third month, she was in love. Chinedu was a real estate developer, or at least that's what he called himself. He bought cheap properties, flipped them, and sold them for profit. He wasn't rich. Not really. But he acted like he was. Expensive clothes, expensive car, expensive taste. All of it financed by debt, charm, and other people's money. But Adais didn't know that yet. All she knew was that this man made her feel seen, made her feel special, made her feel like she was enough. They married after 8 months. Small ceremony, courthouse, wedding. Chinedu said they'd have a big celebration later when his next deal closed. The big celebration never came, but something else did. The real Chinedu. It started small. Comments about her cooking. "My mother makes better jollof than this." Comments about her clothes. "You're my wife now. You can't dress like a market woman." Comments about her work. "Sewing. That's not a real career. That's a hobby for village women." Each comment was a tiny cut, and slowly cut by cut he carved away her confidence. Then by the time their twin daughters were born, Amara and Zuri, Ada barely recognized herself. She had stopped sewing, stopped dreaming, stopped laughing. She spent her days cleaning a house that was never clean enough, cooking meals that were never good enough, being a wife who was never enough. And Chinedu, he was never home. He was networking, closing deals, building the empire. She found out later what he was really building. A collection of women. Chinedu had been cheating since their honeymoon. Different women, different cities, different lies. When Ada found the messages on his phone, dozens of them to at least 4 different women, she confronted him. His response broke something inside her. "And what are you going to do about it?" "Leave." "Go where?" "You have nothing Adais. No money, no career. No family here. You're nothing without me." "Nothing." He said it calmly, like he was stating a fact. Like he was reading the weather. And the worst part, she believed him. For 2 more years she stayed. 2 more years of insults, infidelity, isolation. He controlled the money, controlled her phone, controlled who she could see and when. She was a prisoner in a 4-bedroom house in Dakar until the night he came home drunk and raised his hand. That was the line. She took the twins and left that night with nothing but a diaper bag and the clothes on her back. No money, no plan, no place to go. She slept in her Honda Civic for 3 nights. A woman at a gas station saw her with the babies and connected her with a shelter. From there, Adais rebuilt piece by piece, stitch by stitch, and she found the apartment in College Park. Got a used sewing machine from Goodwill. Started taking in alterations for $10, $15, $20 at a time. The divorce was brutal. Chinedu fought for everything. Claimed she was an unfit mother. Claimed she abandoned the home. Claimed the twins were better off with him. He lost on every count, but the judge awarded Adais almost nothing financially. Chinedu had hidden his assets well. On paper he was practically broke. She walked away with custody of her daughters and $300 a month in child support. $300 for 2 children. Chinedu laughed when the ruling came down. "Enjoy your little apartment Adais. Enjoy your little sewing machine while I enjoy my life." That was 3 years ago, and now he was getting married again to someone better, and he wanted Adais to watch. 3 days after the invitation arrived, something happened that would change everything, but it didn't feel like a life-changing moment at the time. It felt like a Tuesday. Adais was at the fabric store on Buford Highway. She needed thread, specifically a very particular shade of gold thread for a client's dress. She was on her knees, searching through the bottom shelf, when she heard a voice above her. "Excuse me, do you work here?" She looked up. A man stood over her, tall, well-built, dark skin with deep brown eyes that held a quiet warmth. He was wearing simple clothes, dark jeans, a plain black shirt, clean sneakers, nothing flashy, but there was something about him, something in the way he carried himself. Calm, grounded, like a man who didn't need to prove anything to anyone. "No, I don't work here," Adais said, standing up and brushing off her knees. "But I practically live here, so I might be able to help." The man smiled. "I'm looking for upholstery fabric, something durable but elegant for a project." Adais studied him for a moment. "What kind of project?" "I'm restoring a classic car. 1967 Mustang. The interior needs to be redone." Adais's eyes lit up. "You need marine-grade vinyl with a matte finish. Isizal 7, top shelf. They have it in 12 colors." The man stared at her. "How do you know that?" "I'm a seamstress. I know fabric the way a chef knows spices." He laughed. A deep, genuine laugh that made something flutter in her chest. "I'm Kofi," he said, extending his hand. "Kofi Asante. Adazi. Just Adazi. Just Adazi for now." They walked to aisle 7 together. She helped him pick the right vinyl. They talked about fabric, about cars, about Atlanta traffic, about nothing and everything. It was the easiest conversation she'd had in years. When they reached the register, Kofi turned to her. "Ada, I know this is forward, but would you like to get coffee sometime? There's a place around the corner that makes incredible Ethiopian coffee." She hesitated. Every instinct screamed, no. The last man she trusted destroyed her. She had walls now, thick ones, built from pain and reinforced with fear. But something about Kofi's eyes. They were patient, kind. They didn't demand anything. "Just coffee," she said carefully. "That's all." "Just coffee," he agreed. That's all that it wasn't all. Not even close. But neither of them knew that yet. The coffee turned into a second coffee and then a walk in Piedmont Park. Then dinner at a small restaurant where the owner knew Kofi by name. Each time Adaze learned a little more. Kofi was from a Ghanaian family like her. He grew up in the Bronx, moved to Atlanta 5 years ago. He said he was in business, something about consulting. He was vague about the details and the days didn't push. She wasn't interested in his money. She'd married money before, or the illusion of it, and it nearly killed her. What she was interested in was how he treated her. He listened. Actually listened, not the fake listening Chinita used to do where he'd nod while scrolling through his phone. Kofi put his phone away when she talked. He asked questions. He remembered details. He remembered that Amara liked strawberries but not blueberries, that Zuri was afraid of thunder, and that Daisy's favorite color was gold because it reminded her of her grandmother's sewing kit. That he remembered everything, and he never once made her feel small. One evening after their 4th date, Daisy was sitting on her couch sewing a dress while the twins slept. Her phone buzzed. "Kofi, I had a wonderful time tonight. Your daughters are incredible. You're raising them beautifully. Good night. Adaze." She stared at the message, read it 3 times, and for the first time in years she cried. Not from pain, from being seen. Adaze thought Kofi Asante was a regular man with a consulting business. She was wrong. Very, very wrong. Kofi Asante was the founder and CEO of Asante Capital Group, a private equity firm that managed over $4.2 billion in assets. He owned commercial properties across 7 states, and had stakes in 3 tech companies, sat on the boards of 2 major foundations. His personal net worth was north of $800 million. He lived in a 12,000-foot estate in Tuxedo Park, one of the most exclusive neighborhoods in Atlanta. He had a private driver, a personal chef, a security team of 6. The classic car he was restoring at the fabric store. It was one of 14 cars in his private collection. Kofi Asante wasn't rich. He was a tycoon, but you would never know it by looking at him. He dressed simply, drove himself most days, usually in a 10-year-old Toyota Tacoma that he refused to sell because it runs fine. He ate at small restaurants, not 5-star establishments. He tipped 40%. He knew his barber's children's names. He carried his own groceries. And because Kofi had learned something early in life that most wealthy people never learn, money attracts masks. His first wife taught him that Doreen, beautiful, charming, perfect in every way until the money ran out. 3 years ago, Kofi's firm went through a rough patch. A major deal fell through. For about 6 months, things were tight by billionaire standards. Anyway, Doreen didn't stick around to find out if he'd recover. She filed for divorce, took what she could, married a tech CEO in California 4 months later. She never loved Kofi. She loved his lifestyle. After that, Kofi changed. He stopped advertising his wealth, stopped wearing the $5,000 watches and driving the luxury cars. That he wanted to find someone who loved him. Not the money, not the status, not the lifestyle, just him. And then he walked into a fabric store on Buford Highway and met a woman on her knees searching for gold thread. A woman who helped him pick up upholstery vinyl without knowing he could buy the entire store. A woman who agreed to coffee, just coffee, with a man she thought was ordinary. That's when Kofi knew he had found what he was looking for. But he wasn't ready to tell her yet because he needed to be sure. Not sure about her. He was already sure about her. Sure that when the truth came out, it wouldn't change what they had. So he waited. He kept showing up in his jeans and black shirt. Kept driving his old Toyota, kept being the simple man she met in Aisle 7, and with every passing day he fell deeper in love. Not with her beauty, though she was beautiful, not with her talent, though she was gifted. And with her strength, the way she woke up every morning and chose to keep going when the world had given her every reason to stop. The way she loved her daughters with a fierceness that made his chest ache. The way she sewed late into the night, turning fabric into art, turning pain into purpose. Kofi Asante had managed billions of dollars, but he had never seen wealth like Ada's spirit. That was the real treasure, and he would protect it with everything he had. Adais tried to throw the invitation away 3 times. Each time she pulled it back out of the trash. Not because she wanted to go, because she was afraid of what it meant if she didn't. He'll say I was too scared. She told her friend Nkichi over the phone. He'll tell everyone I couldn't handle seeing him happy. Enki sucked her teeth. Girl, I forget Chinedu. That man is trash in a tailored suit. I know, but what?